As time passes by, I've been seeing more and more Chromebooks for sale, and it shouldn't be surprised considering how much more inexpensive they are compared to the competition. But what I found so interesting about it is how much they've captured the market. And the question is, where will things end? And will they really be able to compete with the likes of Microsoft and Apple at scale? This is Techonomics. Hey, it's Carlos, always trying to provide you insight on technology and how it's affecting you and the world at large. Chromebooks are great because of their affordability and availability, but what has caused their growth and how do they compare with the competition? Let's get some context. So what's a Chromebook exactly? To quote GCF Global, unlike most computers, Chromebooks do not run Windows. Instead, they use Chrome OS, which is similar to the Google Chrome web browser. This means you can use a Chromebook to do just about anything you'd normally do online. Read websites, check your email, watch online videos, and so on. Which brings the question, what makes them so great? Well, because Chrome OS doesn't need a lot of computing power and does everything basically through the web, the specs on Chromebooks don't need to be out of this world. As a result, they are significantly more affordable than basically any other laptop option, the only real compromise being that you are limited to mostly online web apps. But don't take my word for it, here you can see the growth for the past couple of years, which just goes to show how much a product like this has been won by consumers and businesses alike. But that's a more holistic view. To really look ahead and capture the future, you have to make sure that young people like and use your products too. And that's where I find Chromebooks' foothold to be most interesting. As of 2019, 85% of United States school districts have a program using Chromebooks. As for why that is, the main points seem to be price, being powered by Google, ease of use, and security. Suffice to say, Chromebooks offer a pretty compelling package for students. By having so many students use these products and many times it being the only computer they've ever used, I think it's only a matter of time until they take an even greater foothold on the industry. But before we get into speculation on where things are going to go, let's compare this growth with the favorite of college kids everywhere, MacBooks. So why mention MacBooks? Well, it's because the growth that we see in Chromebooks now, we've already seen before in MacBooks. They've offered a similar but different benefit when compared to Chromebooks that led to their huge rise of popularity. Just look here at the growth over time. Their growth seems to correlate perfectly with the release of the iPhone, if not a little earlier. Now, why is that? There are probably several reasons, but let's analyze what MacBooks really have to offer when compared to the competition. First is security. Apple is known for having virtually the best security in the business, and it's evident that consumers still want that now, considering that it is one of the major reasons for Chromebooks gaining popularity as well. They also provide a unique user experience. Now, while everyone has their own taste, and trust me, I know plenty of people that hate macOS to their core, the reality is that there are also plenty of people that are part of this fan base that find it to be simpler and refreshing. And probably the most important reason for their growth is that Apple is a lifestyle brand. It's also expensive, with their cheapest MacBook starting at $900. You mix those two things together and Apple products become this niche club that only this exclusive group of people can get. As a result, it also becomes a cool product, which has also led to manufacturers blindly following in their footsteps regardless of popular support. You know, like getting rid of the headphone jack. So with that in mind, it shouldn't be a surprise that as of 2019, 71% of college students would prefer using a Mac. And that's considering that only 40% of college students actually use one by the same survey. Just think about it. College students want to look cool and fit in. It also helps that Apple provides some discounts for students, which they almost never do otherwise. And one of the interesting side effects of this, or maybe it's a cause, I'm not really sure, it's that employees in tech companies overwhelmingly prefer using Macs. And I can say this from personal experience as a software engineer. Now, I do feel like I have to say that many of those same tech company employees would argue that Macs just provide a better experience, support, and app selection for development. But that's an argument for another day. Going back to the point, it is not just me that says that there's been an increase in interest for Macs in business. As of early 2021, Macs have reached 23% of US enterprise market share. Now that's quite an incredible feat. Now that we see that Apple has also managed to get a solid hold over student users, how do Chromebooks and Macs compare? What lessons does Google need to learn? And what trends can we expect from Chromebooks in the future? first, take a look at this. Chromebooks have solidly overtaken Macs for second place when it comes to overall market share for PCs. This can be largely attributed to the pandemic. With working and schooling from home, many people had to buy a new computer. And given the affordability of Chromebooks, it makes total sense that they had unparalleled growth, especially considering it was most likely an unexpected purchase. Just think about it, a 275% growth in the first quarter of 2021. That's insane. Now, Apple hasn't seen that before, but what they have seen is a plateau after extended periods of times of growth. So as great as Chromebooks might be, we should expect something similar soon. It doesn't make sense for purchases of new computers to stay at the same level for an extended period of time. At least not the same pandemic level where we saw an obscene level of growth in purchases for new computers. One thing that Google does need to learn from Apple though is how to make sure users stay. Apple obviously has more adults wanting their computers than ever, and I think that is in large part to their continued efforts towards marketing to college students. So as Google continues to dominate the student computing space, the real question is whether or not in the coming decade, those same people will continue to purchase Chromebooks as they grow up. Hey guys, thanks for watching another video. Please hit that like button, it really is appreciated. Also comment down below with what computer operating system you use. I'm really curious as to how many adults use Chromebooks. As always, it's Carlos from Techonomics, over and out.